Hi, I'm Chris McNulty, Director of Product Marketing for Microsoft 365. This week at Microsoft Ignite, we're so excited to be able to share our innovations about knowledge and content services. The past year has seen unprecedented change as the world has paused from a global pandemic and people have begun returning to work and in new hybrid ways of working. What that has shown us is more than ever, it's important to make sure that we are using critical organizational content to drive new processes and new ways of working forward. We know that there are challenges. The world is drowning in unstructured information. Every day it seems more files, more attachments, more videos, more PDFs, more recordings, pictures, and more. Content is the lifeblood of most organizational processes, but most of the ways that we work with content remain fragmented and highly manual, relying on, at best, email to drive processing forward. And finally, with all of the new challenges in working in a hybrid world, there are new boundaries to expose risk, making the security and compliance needs of the organization more critical than ever. Here, we see the typical life cycle of content in an organization. Content gets created and is brought through classification processes. Metadata is important to make sure that I can work and find that information with precision. We also want to make sure that the correct security and compliance policies are out there. When I need to work with content again, I need to use precision search to go back to get to that content, to be able to find a decision, an expert, or the knowledge that I need to drive my business forward. And then finally, that content can be used to seed the next generation of related content. This life cycle happens with dozens of organizational content types: invoices, contracts, spreadsheets, summaries, project plans, and more. Microsoft's view of knowledge and content services is simple and straightforward. Our platform supports a broad range of services and microservices. Some are always on, such as availability, extensibility, encryption, and more. Some are services that arise in response to policy needs, whether they're coming from IT or compliance for things like retention policy or access control. And then other services respond to user needs, things like search, workflow, and collaboration. All of those things comprise the platform services. However, they do nothing without a broad range of applications and devices that can connect into those. So some of those are applications from Microsoft, and some are from our partners. But fundamentally, our content service platform needs to make sure that content is going to be a great experience for you, regardless of the application or the device that you're using to get to it. Addressing these new ways of working for content can be a challenge, but fortunately, Microsoft 365 offers a broad range of solutions to address your organization's knowledge and content services needs. Today, we'll be focusing on 4 of those: Viva Topics, SharePoint Syntex, Microsoft Search, and Microsoft 365 Compliance. Those solutions and more combine to bring the power of the Microsoft Cloud to your organizational processes. So let's talk about how these solutions come together. Fundamentally, Viva Topics and SharePoint Syntex work closely with the Microsoft Graph, connecting to Microsoft Search and being able to leverage our security and compliance capabilities. The Graph, along with our content connectors, brings rich information from the content inside of your cloud and beyond to make it available for Microsoft Search. Once it's there, SharePoint Syntex can dive into that content to be able to recognize it, tag it, and characterize it, being able to automatically attach compliance policies and making it a much richer environment for being able to turn content into knowledge with the power of Viva Topics. Microsoft is honored to be recognized by major analyst firms for our contributions to content services. Both Gartner and Forrester have recognized us as a leader in their most recent reports. Fundamentally, our mission is about helping you unleash the collective knowledge of your organization. There are overlapping capabilities for how information is found, how it's processed, and delivered to you through the applications you use every day. Taken together, our Microsoft 365 Knowledge and Content Services solutions can address every part of this cycle. We'll start by taking a look at Microsoft Search. Microsoft Search helps you find information from across Microsoft 365 and beyond, tapping into collected knowledge and being able to enrich your profile with information that's relevant to people around the organization. This week, we're unveiling some innovations for Turing, one of our AI interfaces in Microsoft Search that helps you use natural language to get answers to your questions. So I'm really excited to be able to share some of our search innovations with you here today. Whether at work or on the web, we're used to seeing direct answer cards displayed at the top of our results anytime we ask a question. Commonly, these cards show an answer sentence within the context of the paragraph it originated from. Our Turing innovations bring the same experience to Microsoft Search. For example, the questions that I ask are going to be matched to the best available answer using natural language processing. Turing can also correct spelling mistakes based on common patterns seen around the organization. Finally, Microsoft Search gives me a way to search for knowledge. When I type Mark 8 into the search box, you'll see the first result is a topic card for Mark 8, being able to let me tap in context to learn more about that subject and open up the topic page as part of the Topic Center. We'll take a look at Viva Topics next. Search is a powerful tool to help you find content and answers that already exist in your organization, but sometimes we need to build more answers automatically. That's where Microsoft Viva Topics comes in. Viva Topics uses the power of the graph to search through your information, indexing it to turn it into topic pages. It also finds experts who can then go in, review, curate, and approve that information before it becomes available throughout the applications you use every day. This week at Ignite, we're unveiling new capabilities to allow you to manage information at scale and to deliver it to more and more parts of Microsoft 365. Most excitedly, Outlook, Yammer, and coming very soon to Microsoft Teams. So I'd like to invite CJ from our program team to share a deep dive into some of those innovations. CJ?
Hi, I'm CJ Tan from the Viva Topics team. Let's have a look at knowledge managers and administrators and how we can set them up for success with Viva Topics. So knowledge managers and administrators play a critical role in the adoption of topics in your organization. We are improving their experiences so they can include and encourage users to share and engage with topics. So first, we're adding rich usage and indexing analytics to understand how things are working. Then additional metadata like category and usage to suggested topics so they can easily focus on the topics that are most valuable to the organization. And topic segments to organize the topics and delegate ownership to specific people. So this allows them to target the best people to share their knowledge. Right, so knowledge administrators can be successful when they understand what's going on. Analytics on the knowledge indexing process gives feedback on the topics discovered from the selected SharePoint sites. This information includes the number of topics that people have added, so it can help inform expansion and scale decisions to increase the coverage and usefulness of topics. The topic engagement analytics demonstrate the reach and effectiveness of topics, answering the questions of how the organization is learning from or using the knowledge from topics. We also focus on ensuring the analytics are actionable. For example, you can learn that you're missing an area of knowledge that you could benefit from indexing, and then decide to include those SharePoint sites. You could see the top topics to understand what other areas of the organization could benefit from this knowledge, and then decide to add more users to view topics. And you can see who contributes to topics and reward them, since they are sharing their knowledge. So this is just the start for analytics, and this is because we see this as a really key capability for knowledge administrators and for Viva Topics. So the volume of topics suggested can be overwhelming for knowledge managers, especially when all the content in an organization has been selected for indexing. So we know that knowledge is distributed across different people in an organization. So we need ways to bring together the topics that have the most impact with the users with the best knowledge. We're adding new columns and filtering capabilities to better express the quality of the topic, its status, the impressions, the potential impressions, its category, and the last activity. These should allow knowledge managers to make confirm, publish, or remove decisions much quicker. We're also introducing a way to segment topics. To start, you'll be able to segment topics by SharePoint sites, with more properties for segments to come. These segments allow knowledge managers to identify, then delegate the ownership of these topics to the people who can best validate, manage, and curate them. So topics can also be seeded from existing taxonomy terms from the modern SharePoint term store. The knowledge manager can select a term and submit it for topic creation. Now these resources that have been tagged with the term become part of the topic automatically, and people and descriptions can be extracted from this content as suggestions for the topic. So we've heard from many customers that they can benefit from taking more time to build an understanding of and confidence in AI-suggested topics. These next two administration controls were added to address this request. First, there is an advanced setting to only show confirmed and published topics to end users. By opting into only showing confirmed and published topics, knowledge managers can take the time to develop their point of view on what type of topics can be crowdsourced and which ones should be controlled more closely. And they can do this without delaying the opportunity for everyone else to consume and learn from these topics. Second, there is an advanced setting for excluding resources based on sensitivity labels. This will apply for files first, then followed by sites. So we're also running an early adopters program for Viva Topics, and we've added a new setting to allow program participants to choose who will see these pre-release features in order to share their feedback with our engineering team. This is a great opportunity for our team to learn from real-world application of topics and gives customers time to learn and plan adoption of these new capabilities. By focusing on what knowledge managers and administrators need from Viva Topics, we are able to build a better experience for everyone, where topics are helpful and useful in the context of Microsoft 365 apps like Teams, Yammer, Outlook, and Office. If you've ever had to scan through a long thread to get context, let me show you how topics can help. The first time topics discovers knowledge for me, I see this simple invitation to explore. I can see the number of topics available for this thread and get a summary of all the topics automatically detected. Hovering over the topic shows me the topic card where I can come up to speed with the definition and the people and resources that are related to this topic. And now when I'm replying to an email, I can transmit the knowledge of my organization and all that shared context just by simply typing in the topic with the hashtag.
Last year at Microsoft Ignite, we introduced Syntex. Syntex brings your critical organizational content into the flow of work, driving decisions, transactions, and innovation for your organization. Syntex originally focused on recognizing, tagging, and classifying content as part of your business processing, being able to automatically add security and compliance along the way. This week at Microsoft Ignite, we're introducing new capabilities for Syntex to allow you to address common patterns like contract processing, being able to use metadata to find information with precision using natural language and form-based search, and finally, being able to let you use your documents as intelligent templates to be able to automatically generate new content from values you type in or from data sources you already have. We should take a close look at those. So let's bring Sean Squires up from the program team to show you more.
Hi, my name is Sean Squires. I'm a product manager lead on Syntex. So much about the features that we're bringing to Syntex later this year are really around building on the model capabilities we gave you last year with more AI-powered services to amplify the processing and management of your content automatically. So here you see I have this contract center. We'll be releasing this new site solution in the Lookbook, our online tenant provisioning service, that will allow you to create just this type of site with a lot of these components pre-configured to take advantage of these new Syntex capabilities. So imagine if I needed to manage a bunch of contracts. Here I have this client agreements library with these contracts, and I could have a model applied here and presenting the metadata that we're extracting from those files in a rich tile view. But that's not all. We're also going to be giving you the ability to create new smart templates in order to drive consistency in the construction of these contracts. So here I can go ahead and grab an existing file that represents the type of contract and the type of information I want to collect. So we're going to provide you this interface that allows me to identify the elements that are going to change between the contracts that are important for me to collect. Now I can go ahead and identify these elements manually, or I could even source them from a list. What I can do is go ahead and pick that list, and in this case, client names, and now I'm going to be sourcing that information from a list. I can also do this for other fields and elements of information in the document that I need. Once I'm done, I can go ahead and save this as a new template. I can publish that template, and now it is available to me in this library. So now under that same new menu, I can go ahead and make a new contract using this template. I can fill out the information, and then just like that, the file is created. And this file can also work with existing information protection labels that you might need to apply here as well. Now, imagine if these contracts had invoices that were associated with them. If we go over to that library, here I am collecting these invoices. But one of the things we are doing is making it easier for you to discover and apply and even configure models to extract information from these structured types of files. Under the Automate menu, we're going to have a new option that allows you to view the models that are available for your organization. You can go ahead and look at these models, see the details and information. If it looks appropriate, you can go ahead and apply it. But here's what's unique about this one. Notice that it's a pre-built model. What a pre-built model is it's one that's been pre-trained to understand certain elements of information. In the case of this invoice model, it can understand up to 26 different types of information that commonly occur in invoices. What you can do is upload one of your invoices and see what it detects. And then you can configure a model based on what elements are important for you and your organization. Once you've done that, you can apply that model to that same library, and now you're extracting only the metadata that you need for your business. But that's not all. We're also giving you, with this richer metadata view, better ways to visualize this information by bringing the power of Power BI to the document library. So I can go ahead and visualize this metadata using the Power BI reporting interface. And so here I could see the information in these invoices by status. The other thing that I can do is we are now providing metadata search. And with metadata search, I can use this rich metadata to go do very targeted searches based on that extracted metadata information. So imagine in this library of invoices, I wanted to filter for just those that are unpaid and over $10,000. I can go ahead and do a very targeted search and filter the list down to just those results. We're really excited to be bringing these new AI-powered services to Syntex, and very excited to see what you're going to do with them. Back to you, Chris.
With your critical organizational content in the Microsoft Cloud, it's more important than ever to make sure that it's protected. We have tools in Microsoft 365 to help you find and classify your information in place, making sure that it's shared with the appropriate people and managed at scale through your organization. Let's take a look at some of our announcements from this week. Now that we've discussed finding, extracting, and creating content, let's talk about what we're doing to help you protect that content and manage your records. Apply retention labels to content automatically when that content contains sensitive information, keywords, or searchable properties, or a match for our trainable classifiers. Here, I'm looking at the settings for one of my Syntex models for processing financial documents. And you'll see I can automatically use this model to set sensitivity or retention labels. Content will be automatically protected by the data loss protection (DLP) policies you have in place and enforced by Syntex. And you'll also be able to find it using eDiscovery search. Speaking of eDiscovery, users often attach files to an Outlook email or a Teams chat or conversation, which are automatically stored in OneDrive or SharePoint, allowing people to continue to work on a single file, adding new versions to it. However, it can be crucial for eDiscovery or investigation to identify the specific version of the file shared at the time of communication. Today, we're introducing the ability to retain the specific version of the file attachment sent with the Teams or Outlook message. This feature will allow organizations to automatically label that specific version of the file and protect it against deletion or edits as necessary, while allowing users to continue working on the original file. These innovations and more are coming to Microsoft 365. Microsoft 365 offers powerful solutions for your knowledge and content services needs. In addition to that power, there are real benefits. Let's take a closer look at one of our customer success stories. Northumbrian Water is using Syntex and Viva Topics to turn their content into actionable knowledge across the organization. They're projecting a £50 million return on their investment over the next 3 years. Let's hear from them.
You know, water and sewage services as well, it can almost become a hidden thing. Customers have an expectation that it's just there.
The services that we provide to customers are vital. They're weaved into their every day-to-day, from taking a bath to, playing with their children in the garden.
And if we can help them identify the right information at the right time, we are helping Northumbrian Water Group deliver the service that their customers need and deserve.
Our organisation has a large amount of ageing assets, a large amount of information about those ageing assets.
A lot of the knowledge lives within documents that are not necessarily catalogued or referenceable.
I think one particular example was a field worker we had who was in quite an ageing van. This specific chap was starting to make notes on the roof and on the panels of his van.
And how can you convert that into insights so that anybody that needs access to that information has it at their fingertips?
I think it's very clear from the start that clear people had a substantial amount of expertise in this area.
The really interesting thing about how Microsoft 365 and the Viva Topics and the SharePoint Syntex technology works is, of course, that it can automate the understanding of documentation. What we have been able to do is develop a platform on top of Microsoft 365, which allows us to go very deep for specific industries and for specific customers.
I can see the facility to capture information on structured forms electronically in the field will just be a massive leap ahead for us.
But the icing in the cake for us really is taking that information and surfacing it to the people that need it to be able to deliver the best possible services to our customers.
We don't have enough time to go through all of our innovations. You can read more about them in our Knowledge and Content Services blog today. As you can see here, we have a large and busy roadmap across all of these solution spaces. We hope to continue innovating and delivering satisfaction for our customers. The great news is these solutions are all available now as part of your Microsoft 365 plans or as an add-on. Talk to your account representative for more details. Thanks again for your time here at Ignite. We're so excited about everything that we have to share with you. I encourage you to read our blog today to learn even more and explore these resources. Thanks a lot to CJ, Sean, and the rest of the team for helping us with today's session.